Hometown Chevrolet. Address? Anywhere you want it to be. The location doesn't matter. It's the Chevrolet car and truck owners and how we show our continuing interest in them that counts. People like Doc Martin.
I guess I've owned more cars for more years than anybody in town. Been Chevrolet since 1924. I helped lick Kaiser Bill in 18, and then settled down here, bringing the heroes of World War II and Korea into the world. Many a night, driving through mud, snow, sleet, and across fields, I used to wonder whether the boys that serviced my car really meant it when they'd tell me my car was fixed, and fixed right. I soon quit worrying. The boys at Hometown knew how much I depended on my car, and how much I depended on them. They never let me down. Of course, there's a different gang down there now, but they still handle this responsibility in the same tradition.
Doc's right. I'm Dick Scott, chief of our fire department. This Chevy pumper cost the town a special bond issue, and we're pretty proud of her, especially after last January when the big feed mill went up. The call came in at 4 in the afternoon. We had our first line down and pumping 6 minutes later. First on the scene and last to leave. 36 hours steady pumping. I sure kept my fingers crossed. Hometown had overhauled the carburetor that morning. I soon knew they really meant it when they told me she was good as new.
I'm truant officer, Miss Watkins. A couple of boys at Hometown have known me for a long time, long before they started fixing Chevrolets. I need my car all day, every day. This is Chevrolet number 5 for me, all bought from Hometown. Thanks to their wonderful care, just as they promised me, no Chevrolet has ever let me down.
We all know owners like these. When they come in, we can't help going all out to make sure their car's fixed right. When they buy a new one, we just naturally do our best job of get-ready. But what about people we don't know? Strangers like George Harris. Here he is, just about ready to buy a new Chevrolet.
Mr. Harris, I think you're doing the right thing. You'll be plenty busy on your honeymoon. You don't want to be worrying about your car. Denver is a long way to travel. The way we prepare our cars, you can be sure everything's right. Oh, sign here, please.
Promises, promises. Be nice if they really mean it. I'll never forget that other place. Never made it home the day I picked up a new car from them. Had to get towed back to the garage. From then on, nothing but grief. Better be different this time. This place.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. I want you to know we're interested in our owners. And I promise that owning a Chevrolet from Hometown will be a pleasure for you and your new bride.
The honeymooners make the trip. And when they're back home again, well, let's just listen.
Here we are, almost to the top of Pikes Peak. Ran right up like it had wings. You know, we never had a minute's trouble with our new Chevrolet the entire trip.
And about an hour later...
And this is how it looked when we drove up in front of the house last week. Covered almost 6,000 miles, still running like a top. Which reminds me, I'd better take it in tomorrow and get it greased and the oil changed. This car was really conditioned like the salesman promised. But I wonder about that continued interest in owner's business. The other place acted as if they'd be happy if owner stayed away. Funny how some people treat you once they get your money.
And George does find out about Hometown.
I validated your maintenance coupon for you, Mr. Harris. We performed all these items on the Guardian maintenance list, and you're ready to go. You had a little rattle in the left door that we took out. Just latch adjustment. One of the boys discovered it when they took the car for a road test.
I forgot to tell you about that. Thanks a whole lot. You really do mean it about me enjoying my car.
And when George pays his bill...
We're glad you're enjoying your new Chevrolet, Mr. Harris. Thank you for bringing it back to us so we can help you take proper care of it. Here's your change. There was no charge for that latch adjustment.
Yes, George, even though your name was a stranger to the Hometown service team, when your car was conditioned, the technician doing the work did his job the best he knew how. All he cared about was that an owner named George Harris be completely satisfied and proud of his new Chevrolet. And when the maintenance service was performed, these men took no shortcuts. They realized you must be satisfied with your car because you came back. Their main concern is to keep you satisfied and keep you coming back. You're part of the family now, and they aim to keep you that way. But keeping owners happy between sales means keeping different promises for different owners. For example, this is Barney Miller. He bought this truck at Hometown on one condition.
I'm up long before the chickens. By the time I complete my run, it's usually around 3 in the afternoon. That's the only time I can turn the truck loose for service. They brought the service manager in, and we talked it over. He gave me his word.
Barney, whenever you can bring the truck in, we'll be all right with us. We'll find a way to get the work done.
I got the same song and dance where I bought my last truck. Every time I wanted something done, they were too busy or it was too late. I just gave up and took the truck someplace else for service. Well, we'll see what happens this afternoon. I got a couple of items I want them to fix. They've got a good-looking truck service department. I wonder if I'll have a chance to try it out.
And we'll find out, too, as soon as the operator turns the record over.
Hi, Barney. What can we do for you?
Well, she needs a tune-up, brakes adjusted, and see if you can take the squeak out of the clutch pedal.
Okay, Barney. No sweat. We'll get right on it. Now, let's see. It's 3 o'clock now. By the time we road test it, how about 4:30 or 4:45? That'd be too late, Barney?
Too late? Man, I must be dreaming. Probably means 4:30 tomorrow.
You can wait around if you want to. Or there's a good diner down the block if you want to grab some coffee and come back later. Might run into some of your trucking buddies down there.
And when he told me it'd be done while I waited, that did it. If their work is as good as their word, I can quit worrying where to get that rig fixed without losing a day's run.
Where you been, Barney? I figured you had the word. That's how come you dumped your old milkshaker. Take it from a guy who's had 4 trucks in a row, all bought and serviced at Hometown. They believe in keeping them rolling.
Barney's finding out fast that Hometown Chevrolet doesn't kid around when they make promises. They got him right in, even at 3 in the afternoon. And, as his friend pointed out, they backed their promise with top-quality workmanship. That all adds up to top-quality, dependable service. The kind of service that'll keep Barney happy between new truck purchases, and that'll make him speak well of the service at Hometown to his buddies. Then there are owners like Mrs. Adams. Not hard to figure her out. She's fussy, bossy, pretty shrewd with figures. To keep her happy, everything must be...
Neat and clean. That's what's important, young man. I was told your garage is neat and you don't dirty up customers' cars. That other dealer, the first and last time I went there, they left grease on the seats, the carpet, the steering wheel. I was simply ill.
I'm sorry you had such an unfortunate experience, Mrs. Adams, but I promise you this. We do everything we can to make sure we don't soil customers' cars, inside or out. We treat them as we would want our own cars to be treated.
An easy promise when you're selling me a car. If you break it, I'll never come back, and I'll never buy another Chevrolet at this dealership. Now, if my new car is ready, I'd like to look it over.
Looks like Hometown Chevrolet is passing the white glove treatment okay. But there's a good chance Mrs. Adams will never really stop wondering about the kind of treatment she'll get. She's that type of person. She'll have to be convinced every visit she makes. But when it's good...
Girls, I've been back 3 times. Once for a small squeak, and twice for regular maintenance. I double your 2 clubs, Gertrude. The place was spotless, and my car kept immaculate. You know, I almost believe that salesman was telling me the truth. You have to bid, Evelyn. I doubled.
Hometown didn't make a special effort just for Mrs. Adams. She received the same good housekeeping treatment all owners receive. Use of seat covers turned right side out, protective floor coverings, final cleanup of glass and steering wheel. Everyone takes pride in keeping customers' cars clean inside and out, regardless of who the customer is. What does it take to let owners know we really mean it when we promise continued interest in them? Well, it depends on what one thing means most to each owner. George Harris worried about new car conditioning. Barney Miller depended on top-quality service when he could bring his truck in, not when it was convenient for the dealership to take care of him. And our bridge-playing friend, Mrs. Adams, ranked cleanliness at the top of her list of what it would take to keep her happy, keep her coming back until she's ready to buy another car, and buy it at Hometown Chevrolet. Once owners get the keys to their new Chevrolets, it's up to us in service to demonstrate this continuing interest by working for every customer, whether we know him or not, exactly the same way, the very best we know how. Our demonstration starts before owners ever see their new cars, with new car conditioning, taking extra special care to make sure each vehicle is truly ready to go, makes the most of those important first few days of ownership. The demonstration continues by doing expert workmanship, on time, every time an owner comes back to see us, and doing it at the customer's convenience, not ours. Our demonstration ends with cleanliness. When we turn the customer's car or truck back to him, we make sure it's as clean or cleaner than when he brought it in, inside and out. One more thing. Those of us who talk face-to-face with customers should never forget to say thank you for coming in, for giving us the opportunity to prove that we really mean it when we promise to take care of all their service needs. The payoff for really proving to customers we are interested in them is that people start talking, saying nice things about our service and our dealership. This valuable word-of-mouth advertising can bring back and hold many owners we haven't seen for a long while. It all adds up. A full shop, keeping steadily busy, and the satisfaction of knowing we're a vital member of a winning team. A team keeping old friends and winning new friends to Chevrolet and to our dealership. Winning friends and making money, because they never have to wonder, do we really mean it?